My older sister inherited our parents' house, and everyone in the family said it was only fair. She cried during the reading of the will. I smiled. My aunt pulled me aside afterward. "You should contest it," she whispered. "Your parents loved you equally." I shook my head. "No, let her have it." My sister Megan stood proudly in the driveway of our childhood home, already talking about renovations and how much the property had appreciated over the years. She thought she'd won. She had no idea what she'd actually inherited. For years, our parents had struggled financially after my father's construction business failed. They never told most of the family because they were too proud. I knew because I handled their paperwork during the last 2 years of their lives. The house looked beautiful from the outside. Inside, it needed a new roof, outdated plumbing, electrical repairs, and foundation work. More importantly, there was a second mortgage my parents had taken out years earlier to pay medical bills after my mother's cancer diagnosis. The balance was nearly $280,000. I had begged my parents to sell the house while the market was high, but my mother refused. "This is where our family belongs," she always said. After they passed away, Megan convinced everyone that she deserved the house because she had always been the favorite. She also hinted that I only cared about money. The truth was almost the opposite. I wanted peace more than another courtroom battle. So I signed the paperwork without arguing. 3 months later, Megan called. "Why didn't anyone tell me about the second mortgage? I assumed you reviewed the financial documents before accepting the property." There was silence. "I didn't. That wasn't my responsibility." Over the next few months, more surprises appeared. The roof began leaking after heavy spring storms. The insurance company refused to cover it because the damage had been developing for years. Then an inspection revealed dangerous electrical wiring throughout the house. The estimate for repairs exceeded $90,000. Megan became desperate. She tried selling the house. Buyers walked away after reading the inspection reports. Even lowering the price didn't help. The repairs scared everyone off. Meanwhile, I had inherited something much smaller. My father had left me his old pickup truck and a modest investment account. Several relatives quietly pitied me. What they didn't know was that the investment account had no debt attached to it. I used part of it as a down payment on a small townhouse near my job. My mortgage payment was manageable. My weekends were peaceful. One evening, Megan called again. "I can't keep up with the mortgage, taxes, and repairs." "I'm sorry to hear that. You knew all this would happen. I knew the house had problems. You should have warned me." I took a deep breath. "You spent months telling everyone I was greedy and that you deserved everything. Every financial record was available before you signed." She didn't answer. A year after our parents' estate was settled, the bank began foreclosure proceedings. Megan had missed too many payments. Eventually, she sold the house at a significant loss just to avoid foreclosure. After paying off the mortgages, legal fees, and closing costs, she walked away with almost nothing. At a family barbecue that summer, my uncle sat beside me. "I owe you an apology," he admitted. "I thought you gave up too easily." "I wasn't giving up. I was choosing not to fight over something that couldn't truly be won." He nodded thoughtfully. A few weeks later, Megan asked if we could meet for coffee. She looked exhausted. "I blamed you because it was easier than admitting I never asked the right questions." I smiled gently. "We all make mistakes." I wish I'd listened instead of trying to prove I deserved more. So do I. For the first time in years, we had an honest conversation. No arguments, no accusations, just two sisters finally understanding each other. Looking back, losing the house never felt like losing. It felt like avoiding a burden disguised as a blessing. Sometimes the biggest prize isn't the one everyone is fighting over. Sometimes it's the freedom to walk away from a problem before it becomes your own. That day, my sister inherited a house. I inherited peace. Years later, I still believe I got the better deal.